His body is covered in ash. A serpent rests around his neck. He wears tiger skin as clothing and he carries deadly poison in his throat. He looks wild, dangerous, almost terrifying. In fact, when Shiva first appeared before his bride's family, even his mother-in-law fainted at the sight of him, and yet his very name means the auspicious one. So the question is, why does Shiva look this way? The answer begins with understanding something deeper. Shiva is not just a god with many forms. According to the ancient traditions, Shiva's true and supreme form is Sadashiva. Sadashiva is not a physical form. Sadashiva is formless. It is the Purusha. It is the supreme consciousness that exists beyond all creation. But here is the paradox. If the ultimate reality is formless, then why does Shiva appear in such a wild material form? The answer is profound. Shiva's appearance is not random. His material form is actually a doorway to understanding the formless. Everything he wears, everything he carries, is revealing something about the nature of ultimate reality. The serpent, the ashes, the tiger skin, the poison in his throat. Each of these is a clue, a glimpse into the nature of Sadashiva. And one of the greatest moments that revealed this truth happened during the cosmic event known as the Samudra Manthan. According to the Puranas, the gods once lost their strength because of the curse of sage Durvasa. The Devas became weak. The Asuras began overpowering them. Desperate, the gods turned to Vishnu for guidance. Lord Vishnu proposed a daring plan. To restore their power, they would have to churn the cosmic ocean and obtain Amrit, the nectar of immortality. But the Devas were too weak to do it alone. So Vishnu advised something unexpected. They would have to make a temporary alliance with the Asuras. Together they began the great churning of the cosmic ocean. The serpent king Vasuki became the rope. The mountain became the churning rod. Back and forth they pulled the cosmic ocean. The universe trembled as the ocean was churned. Everyone waited for the nectar of immortality to emerge. But something else appeared first. A terrible poison. The deadliest substance in existence, halahal. Its fumes spread across the cosmos. The poison threatened to destroy all creation. The gods panicked. The Asuras panicked. In that moment of cosmic danger, there was only one being capable of saving existence. They turned to Lord Shiva. Shiva drank the poison, but he did not swallow it. He held it in his throat. This is why he is known as Neelakant, the blue-throated one. But this act was not just an act of sacrifice. It revealed something profound about his true nature. Shiva experiences the poison of the universe, but it cannot affect him. He does not reject the world, yet he is not consumed by it. Just as the poison rests in his throat without entering him, the impurities of the world exist, but they cannot touch the supreme consciousness. This is the nature of Sadashiva, the formless reality that exists beyond all things, yet appears within them. And that is why Shiva's appearance looks so wild, because every symbol on his body is a message, a glimpse of the infinite hidden within the form. After the great churning of the cosmic ocean, another story explains one of the Shiva's most mysterious symbols, the serpent king Vasuki, who served as the rope during the churning of the ocean, became exhausted after the immense effort. He had endured tremendous strain, while the Devas and the Asuras pulled him back and forth to churn the cosmic ocean. Seeing his devotion and sacrifice, Lord Shiva was pleased. Out of compassion, Shiva allowed Vasuki to rest upon his neck. That is why Shiva is often depicted wearing a serpent around his throat. There are other stories about this symbol, but this one connects beautifully with the story of Samudra Manthan. But the serpent is not just an ornament. In Indian culture, the snake represents many things. It represents time, fear, death, rebirth, and endless cycles of existence. And Shiva wearing the serpent carries a deeper meaning. It shows that his true nature exists beyond time. beyond fear, and beyond the cycle of birth and rebirth. It is almost as if time itself rests upon his neck. The serpent becomes like a garland, a symbol that Sadashiva, the supreme consciousness, wears time itself, yet remains beyond it. That is why Shiva is also known as Mahakal, the Lord of Time, the Lord of. Some people say Shiva mastered fear, but that description is not entirely accurate. To master something means there was once something to overcome, but Shiva is already complete. There is nothing for him to achieve, nothing for him to conquer. He does not master time, fear, or death. He has always been their Lord from the very beginning of existence. That is why the serpent rests around his neck, because everything that governs the world, time, cycles, and fear exists within his domain. Long ago, Lord Shiva entered a deep meditation for the welfare of all beings. Not an ordinary meditation, but a stillness so profound that even time itself seemed to pause. For thousands of divine years, Shiva sat unmoving. He was meditating for one purpose: the liberation and well-being of all living beings. Eventually, when the moment arrived, Shiva slowly opened his eyes, and what he saw was the world. He saw beings struggling. He saw suffering, ignorance, and pain. Even though he was the supreme ascetic, compassion stirred within him. From his eyes, tears began to form. Not tears of sadness, but tears of divine compassion. Those tears fell from his eyes and touched the earth. The tears crystallized into seeds. From those seeds grew sacred trees, and their fruits contained powerful beads. Those beads became known as Rudraksha. Rudraksha literally means the tear of Rudra. Now listen carefully to this idea. A tear crystallized, water crystallized, emotion transforming into matter. The tear of Shiva crystallized. Shiva, the supreme consciousness, and his tear becoming a physical object, one form becoming another form, consciousness appearing as matter, Shiva as supreme consciousness appearing as this world itself. Consciousness is not separate from the material world. There are not two different Shivas. There is only one Shiva appearing as many forms. He is the supreme consciousness, and he is also the material world. He is both. If you understand a little bit about Advaita, you will recognize this idea. But here is the most beautiful part. Shiva did not reject the tear that fell. He did not abandon it. Instead, he wears it. He wears his own crystallized tears as Rudraksha, his own creation, resting on his body, not rejecting the world, but carrying it with him. How beautiful is that? Out of compassion, out of love, he carries creation with him. He is the Lord of this creation, yet also beyond it. Long ago, deep inside a sacred forest, lived many powerful sages. These sages had mastered rituals, mantras, and sacred fire ceremonies. Their spiritual knowledge was immense, but over time, many of them became proud of their power. They began to believe that their rituals alone controlled the universe. At that moment, Lord Shiva decided to teach them a lesson. He appeared in the forest as a wandering ascetic, naked, covered in sacred ash, carefree and mysterious. When Shiva entered the forest, something strange happened. The wives of the sages felt deeply drawn to him. It was not merely desire, his presence carried a powerful spiritual magnetism. The sages saw this and became furious. Their pride was wounded. They thought, this wandering ascetic is destroying our discipline and disturbing our sacred order. In anger, they decided to use the ritual powers against him. They performed a powerful sacrificial ritual intending to destroy Shiva. From the flames of the ritual fire, they created a ferocious tiger and commanded it to attack him. But Shiva remained completely calm. With effortless power, he caught the tiger and defeated it instantly. Then something remarkable happened. Shiva removed the tiger's skin and wrapped it around his waist as clothing. This is why Shiva is often depicted wearing tiger skin. In many images, he is also shown sitting upon it. Now look closely at the meaning. The tiger is one of the most powerful predators in nature. It represents raw instinct, dominance, strength, and primal power. The sages tried to defeat Lord Shiva through power and aggression, but Shiva simply turned that power into his clothing. Shiva, the supreme consciousness, Sadashiva, is beyond strength, instinct, and domination. He is above them. That is why he sits upon the tiger skin. He does not fight these forces endlessly, he rises above them. What others see as power and danger becomes merely a garment for him. Worldly power cannot touch him. Through strength or domination, the supreme consciousness cannot be controlled or understood. Shiva is beyond all of it. Lord Shiva is often seen in cremation grounds, his body covered in sacred ash. His appearance is so wild and unsettling that even his own mother-in-law is said to have fainted the first time she saw him. He is surrounded by strange beings and spirits. He is known as Bhutanath, the Lord of Spirits. Yet his very name, Shiva, means the auspicious one. But look at this carefully. How can someone who sits in cremation grounds, surrounded by death and ashes, be called auspicious? If we are honest, most of us are uncomfortable with death. When we see a dead body, something inside us recoils. We may act brave, but deep down, who truly wants to face death? Even talking about death with our parents sometimes makes the room quiet and uneasy. It is natural. We prefer not to think about it. And yet, there is Shiva, calmly sitting in the cremation ground. He does not reject the place that the world fears the most. Why? Look closely at the ashes. Ash is what remains when all forms dissolve. A body burns, and in the end, everything becomes ash. Rich or poor, powerful or powerless. Every form ends the same way. Ash is the final reminder that all forms are temporary, and Shiva covers himself with that very truth. There is something subtle here. Shiva represents the supreme consciousness, the one reality that exists when all forms disappear. Ash represents the end of form, but Shiva stands beyond form. Even when everything dissolves into ash, Shiva remains. Call it Brahman, Paramatma, or Sadashiva. These are simply different names pointing to the same ultimate reality. The reality that exists before creation, during creation, and even after everything disappears. Shiva is not sitting somewhere far away, untouched by death. He is not only on Mount Kailash, he is everywhere. That is why he is called auspicious, because the same consciousness that shines through the universe also shines through you. And the ancient sages expressed this truth in a single powerful line: Tattvamasi, you are that.